Hi, Gulina.
Hello, Ranko.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Very well. How are you?
Awesome, very well. Thank you. So maybe if we can touch a little on topic of witnessing presence. What is really witnessing presence? Is it really same like the sense of I am? Because I've sensed that it is the same thing, basically. It is this presence which can be uninvolved in any content of experience. It can be on its own in a way. So for me, sense of being is the same thing. And in my process, I feel that witnessing presence is becoming more stronger and stronger in a way. So it becomes more and more independent from the content of experience. And in that sense, I find it as a most important element of my being, my beingness. So I always try to come back to that witnessing presence. And it also changes, not in quality, but in somehow expression becomes different. Like my experience is changing and I put the different words on it. But it is always the same thing. So maybe you can share your experience about that.
Thank you. The recognition of this, as we call it, is multifaceted. There's no separation, but it definitely is multifaceted. The sense of I am is that sense of existence or aliveness, or more accurately, not deadness. So that recognition, that confirmation experientially that I don't know what I am, but I am. Something is. It must be I, right? So that experiential recognition is what the impersonal sense of I am can be labeled as. Another facet to this recognition is that it is what this is, who knows? However, this is awareness itself. So it's an impersonal sense of awareness also. And they are subtly different in experience, quality-wise, the sense of I am and the sense of awareness. So it's like I am a human being and I'm a woman. So it's the same reference, and yet they're two facets of Gurleen, right? So in the same way, the sense of presence is kind of mixed with that. So that here-ness as what is not, cannot be defined, cannot be even known. But the here-ness, the isness, and the awareness as the isness is what we can say the sense of presence is made of, or what it at least shines as. And that sense of witnessing presence. So that witnessing is inherently the flavor of the presence. The presence is effortlessly, naturally, inherently aware. And that is what we can call the witnessing position or the witnessing vantage point, where I am the witnessing itself, not the one that witnesses, because it itself cannot be witnessed. What can be witnessed is not the witnessing. So everything somehow is within the perceiving or the noticing or the awareing of that witnessing presence. And how is it different than beingness? The witnessing presence somehow feels more all-encompassing in a way that when I am witnessing presence, when that's what I am experientially, the content of experience is somehow I'm untouched by the content. So whatever may happen, even to this body, even in the flow of life, if whatever happens, somehow the witnessing presence is untouched by all of it. The sense of beingness is, I would say, is a more integrated experience of the content and the witnessing presence when they are not separate anymore. So initially, there has to be a distance or like even a disembodiment, we can say. It's not a good word here, but just for the lack of a better word, there has to be a space between the content, the person, and I, as within which the content, the person happens. And there needs to be a grounding in that for the content to become impersonal enough, even as the person. So that that impersonalization as the witness is really important to see what is and what passes. And as the integration takes place, that witnessing merges somehow with the content. So what started as not this, not this, not this, not me, not me, not me, ends up as also me, also me, also me. So, and in that place, the sense of beingness is that grounding where the content and the witness somehow are not two anymore. So in the sense of beingness, there is no need to detach from the content or vice versa, or to attach to the content. So that sense of beingness is the place where it doesn't need to be remembered even as what am I? Am I the person or am I the witness? So for me, the sense of beingness is the after effect as the witnessing consciousness or the witnessing presence matures and grounds within daily living.
Very, very beautiful explanation. That is a missing link that I was trying to find. Yeah, thank you.
No.
Hopefully there'll be a recording of it.
Yes,
Here
yes.
again. Yeah.
There will
Yeah.
be. And that is the thing. What happens is that the sense of beingness feels so one or even regular sometimes, that something misses the vastness, the blissfulness of the witnessing presence, because it is sure nice, it's weightless. It's just so light to just be the witness and not having to experience the content in the way the human being is designed to experience. So at a certain point, it is almost, well, at a certain point, it's necessary to just detach from what I think I am and just relax back and surrender into the witness. But at another point, that itself may become a spiritual bypassing, where we are avoiding the content, the person, the circumstance, and just running back to the witness consciousness. And that itself, which was needed before, now is detrimental. To what? To the end of suffering, to peace of mind. So what was facilitating peace of mind at a certain point is now the very obstacle to peace of mind. And that is when one knows that actually it is not supposed to be lived as the witness. It did its thing, and now it's okay to let go of the witness and then just be messed up again. Because if I don't enter the messed up room, how am I going to find a broom and sweep it? So, but now I do have a broom of that witness vantage point. So I'm not that same, I'm not that same broken vacuum cleaner that couldn't do anything before. Now I've got this extra power, which I can use to clean up the mess, if that's what's needed, or just to deal with the mess, just to be in the mess. And the mess, it's all not mess, it's also beauty. Because as the witness, the beauty doesn't touch and the mess doesn't touch. When the mess is so strong, we don't care about the beauty, we just want to avoid the mess. And then it's amazing that we find experientially that we are untouchable. What we are is not any of this. But then there comes a point when you come back, and not as the witness, but the witnessing penetrating me as the person, and me just being the person, and almost even feeling like at a certain point as a servant of the witnessing. And that's where the Lord and the devotee kind of equation, that is what it really symbolizes. So serving God or serving the Lord is basically just this person integrating with the witnessing presence. And that is really the surrender then that's needed, and that may happen. And then there is no need to step back into the witness anymore, even when there's pain, or even when there's something that triggers. There's enough grounding within the beingness, which is very embodied. It's not like the witnessing. It's very embodied, and almost like that Gurleen is being. So beingness and Gurleen are not two anymore. But witnessing feels like that something is, switching out of Gurleen. And Gurleen can be observed now. But beingness is very much almost like, I wouldn't say personal, because nothing is personal. Even Gurleen is not personal. But yeah, embodied is the word. Beingness is very embodied and very inclusive of whatever is going on also.
Yeah, in my experience, I see all those elements. So there are times like I feel like totally energetically pulled into myself, and there will be this witnessing presence. And when its job is done, then I'm coming back to this like beingness,
Yeah.
so more integrated. It's not that I'm in this phase, so these phases are interchangeable in a way. They change. So, and also I have insight why we're using different models. Because our conceptual self is not very clear what is going on. So we have to use some models. Models basically are not the truth, but they're helping our conceptual part to understand what is going on. And then our conceptual part is not on the way, on the process, which is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I finally understood why we are using different models. The model is changing, even in this understanding. Yeah. Witnessing presence is one model, sense of being is another model. Slightly changed, but
that's right. And they're just labels also, because then when you go to different modalities or different frameworks, the same word can totally represent something else.
yeah.
So it's that's why it becomes important at a point to just come back to your immediate experience and then just use your label. And at that point, the teaching is embodied and not what we have heard, but what is arising. And then maybe you name it your own way. That's why there are so many modalities. And you're right, everything helps at a certain point. And it happens on its own too. So all of this explanation of what needs to happen and what needs to be done and witnessing needs to happen or embodying needs to happen, it all happens on its own. It just becomes available and it is chosen and something shifts or not.
Yeah, teaching is really amazing. Sometimes you hear concepts and you don't know really what they're pointing at. And
Yeah.
this phase happens, oh, this is what they are telling really about.
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you, Gordon.
Thank you, Renko. Pleasure.